Hello, you level grinding cats and dolls out there in YouTube land. I'm the AntiHeroDrink, and as always, gamers, thank you for tuning in. So, if you're a fan of Bungie, if you're a fan of Destiny, don't watch this video. Seriously, it's going to be probably a long fucking video, so you shouldn't watch it anyway because it's so long, and all I'm going to go do is just talk about how much of a bad game this is. And if you want to go have a knee-jerk reaction to say, I don't know what I'm talking about, blah, 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 whatever, leave your comment in it. Like, seriously, let me get this out of the way. If you disagree with anything I say, please leave a comment in the comment section below. If you really want to try to prove that I'm wrong, I'm open for that. I want to be fucking wrong about this game. I didn't go spend $400 to go get the limited edition white PS4 with Destiny because I wanted to go be disappointed. I just don't have money like that to just throw around for a disappointment that I saved up for. I wanted this game to be great. The art design is great. The level design, especially for the Votive Glass, even though it's tough as fucking nails, let me give it to you. It's interesting. It's nice. It can get a little long and maze-like, basically, is what I'm trying to say. It gets maze-like at some points, but really great and really fun content. And the gunplay and leveling up in the game is gratifying. And it does fill those essential needs for RPG players, especially if you have that level grinding monkey at your backside clawing at you. There are redeeming notes about Destiny, and at no point am I trying to go underline or just basically say, no, every aspect about this game sucks. So again, I implore you, if you disagree with me, drop a comment in the comment section below. This is going to be long. If you can listen through it, God bless your soul. My problem with Destiny is simply this. I feel like the design team has no vision of what it is they want to do with their game. And even if there is a vision for Destiny, I don't understand it. It's like, if this was a joke, the setup would be so weird, it would leave you scratching your head. And you're just waiting for this punchline. And you're like, okay, there's some sort of setup. And they're giving their deliverance. But like, I mean, when the punchline hits, I'm just like, I don't even think I'm going to go care by the time the punchline hits to actually stay long enough to hear it. And that's personally my feeling about just the design of where Destiny is going. Okay, so recently, yeah, they patched a bunch of weapons. I was really pissed about that. I did in another video. I said, don't patch your weapons. I mean, this is a long, grindy RPG video game where players are trying to go get loot for PvP. And I was just like, don't patch it. And they patched it. I think some of the nerfs were okay and whatnot. My biggest problem with it is, as I said a bunch of times earlier, is that I don't understand your vision or where you're going with this. And I was saying, as a player, I need to, but I need to go know a sense of what it is I'm going to be getting out of this game and that what the developers are trying to go deliver to me. If I'm playing survival horror, I know what I want to go feel and see when I play survival horror. If I'm playing an action game, I know what type of action or deliverance that I'm expecting from the designers to deliver upon me. When I play Destiny, at first, for the longest time, I just thought, like, okay, this is going to be a very long, grindy game, but the grind is for these great exotic PvP weapons. And your exotics are nice. They're great looking. And some of the effects are really cheap, but at first I was thinking, like, oh my god, this is going to be fucking badass. And if you play games like, alright, I know a lot of people probably played it but still don't play it anymore because it's an old man's card game. But if you play Yu-Gi-Oh, there are some really cheap fucking cards. But when these cheap cards meet other cheap cards, there are some really cool duels or showdowns or mind games of people trying to go trick people or dupe people into falling into traps or using cards' abilities to just backfire on themselves. So I thought the weapon play in Destiny was going to resemble something like that. And I mean, that was just my opinion. But when I saw some of these really interesting, cool, exotic effects, I'm like, okay, that gun against that gun, that's going to be pretty interesting. Because PvP is this giant mind game of, you know your abilities, you know your abilities' weaknesses, and you know your gun's abilities. You have to go incorporate all that with understanding a baseline of what it is a character can do by their class, but also trying to go figure out what it is their gun can do. And I thought that was the game Destiny was urging to be. I thought that was going to be our big PvP thing. I thought that was going to go set this game apart from so many other games. And then you're like nerfing weapons with just this big, broad stroke. And I'm not saying that the weapon wasn't cheap. I'm not saying that the weapon didn't deserve a nerf. But if you're fucking with weapons, and this is the thing that a lot of people are spending their 3 hours or their 2 hours or whatever in your content trying to get, why would they want to spend that much time on something that you could go on a whim, have the reaction to say, brushstroke, nerf, especially with your DLC content, which you're like boasting people should buy and people should get in, where you don't even have a grip on the content that you've already provided to players. Every time Bungie reacts to a problem within Destiny, it affects the community in such a big way. It leaves a bigger percentage of its user base mad. And nobody wants to be mad. People like your game. I like your game. It's a fun game. I can't get over that. It's a fun, addictive game. Your game's like Minecraft when it was just block crack and you just had to have some. You could never just have one play. I mean, that's Destiny with just gunplay. But you take so much away from the game, and there's not that much there. You really have to understand it. There's not that much there for players to enjoy. Because if I had to write this out on paper, which I was going to do, but I decided this, man, your game does not sound so pleasing when I say, like, when I tell people this is what I do in Destiny. I'll maybe take out a couple of bounties because I might get an exotic, but I only do the ones that I know I have the time to do, and I don't really play PvP. I'm more of a PvE person myself. So I'll do a couple of strikes. I mean, yeah, that's fun. And after strikes, I get bored because we're doing the same repetitive missions over and over and over again, day in and day out, and it's nothing ever new. You could walk around the land. I might do that for a bit. Farm some relic iron or spin metal for weapons and whatnot. And yeah, Destiny. Huzzah! I mean, I'm not trying to go like say your game isn't fun. I mean, I could go say this in an exciting voice, like I come in and I do strikes, but they're all the same mission that we did over and over and over again, and there are no new strike missions. So after like, I don't know, 4 or 5 plays, you're just gonna basically do the same shit over and over again, but with new people. But there's the bolt of glass. But there's no matchmaking for it, so you have to have 6 dedicated friends who have all not did it already. And if you don't, you have to go to the tower, which doesn't have a little chat box so you can go ask people if they want to do the bolt of glass. You have to walk up to complete other strangers and ask them to do a bolt of glass with you, who you've never met before, who Bungie even said that they just didn't want random ragtag teams doing the vote of glass, but it seems the majority of people are just meeting random people to do the vote of glass. And then you gotta pray that this ragtag team of people that you just met are as dedicated to doing the vote of glass as you are, because if one person leaves, it destroys the whole entire raid. But you can go try to go find more people. It's no seriously, like what? That's your content right now. I'm not trying to go be a dick about this. I'm sure there are a lot of people on the team who really enjoy the fucking game, but that's your content. Oh my god, like, it would be nice if, I don't know they want to do their own thing, but like their own thing is not clearly that great. Could you take a couple of notes from Guild Wars? Seriously? I mean, you want to talk about rewarding content that made me want to go play the fucking, just walk around the map and do shit? Guild Wars. There it is. Look at that. It is a perfect design example of just putting mobs together, and then one person sees another person in the mob, and they join into that mob, and they share the experience, they share the drops, all this other stuff, and there's constant things happening in Guild Wars. There's just thing upon thing upon thing. I saw so many people who are like, what's the best way to level up in Guild Wars? What's a good power leveling technique? And somebody was just like, not even somebody, an overwhelming amount of the community said, dude, play the content. You won't believe how much you will level up just by walking around, seeing something happen, and playing it. And they're fucking right. It is true. I leveled up hella fast. I've leveled up faster in that game than I've ever leveled up fast in any other game. And it's rewarding. It's fun. Some of the missions are a little quirky. Some of the missions are your typical RPG affair. But all in all, it has this nice flow. When you're doing stuff, it kind of takes you back, and you're enjoying doing it. There are jump puzzles with out in the world where you go get really cool and interesting loot from. There are spontaneous big world-based boss battles that just happen. And that's like really one of the best parts about Guild Wars, are these big, gigantic, epic quests that will start from one small quest. But then a group of people did that quest and did another quest, and combine this, it makes this event quest appear where this giant-in-life boss comes out, and the whole entire community on that part of the server where this boss is happening has to fight it. That's rewarding. That's fun. Where the fuck is something like that in Destiny? And you can say there are two different types of games. Leave in the comment section below. But they're both MMORPGs that want to go sport a giant world where players interact in it. And I'm not saying they have to do exactly piece by piece what Guild Wars did, but think about some of those aspects and how to incorporate it in its own world. Instead of just saying, oh, well, there's an event, these enemies are fighting these enemies, you should kill them. Oh no, there are more enemies coming out of that hole, you should kill them. This will repeat throughout the world of Destiny. Thanks. So, this has gotten really fucking ratty, and I want to go drop a couple of things. I'm not trying to throw Destiny under the bus or Team Bungie under the bus. And in all fairness, let me just throw like my ideas for a couple of things that would really improve the overall feel of the game. So basically, as far as world events go and whatnot, having like, how can I go put this? Having like just events that happen with bosses that were from parts of the story, or even for not even parts of the raid, but like for those big strikes or whatnot. Like, this would be a cool event, and that you could already do, and you already have kind of like the setup for. You could just go be like, you could just send everybody on Destiny. Word is that the Prison of Elders has been raided yet again, but this time there are more than just one Argon priest, and they put a bounty on his head. We don't know which planet he's landed on, but then there are some other high-ranking targets from the Prison of Elders. Please partner up with other Guardians and take them out. And you have this giant manhunt where every guard, because like you sent to everybody who was on the forum at the time, or when they come in, they can just see a little message saying that this is happening for this amount of time, and they can still interact. So you got people like, but we don't know which world he's on, and these worlds are really big. So you got people taking their bets on planets. And they're going to be cruising through your content looking for every nook and cranny. That could be really cool. Or you could even just make it to one planet. That'd be nice. And then, but you'll have so many people rushing to that server like, I gotta fucking do it. I gotta fucking do it. I want to take them out. I want to take them out. And don't stiff people on a reward. Be straight up with people and just say, when this is done and over, we're offering one random purple engram, a legendary engram. It could be a weapon, it could be armor, it could be whatever. But you offer that up, there's an incentivizing reason why people want to go do it. First of all, it sounds fun. People are just like doing the same mundane things over and over again. You finally threw something at them that's really new, unique and different, and they're like, fuck yeah, I want to try that. And I get a fucking purple? Yeah, I got to cash that in. I have a chance of making that purple a fucking exotic. Yeah, I'm all in. And you can go say this. You can make it really competitive. You can even throw a competitive edge in this and say, but a special exotic engram will drop to the player who finishes off the enemy with a finishing blow super. That would make people go ape shit. Or a grenade, because I know some people's supers don't do damage, but or you can say or a grenade. But yeah, that would just make people go ape shit. They're gonna be like, I gotta get the last hit in. I gotta get the last hit in. That would be really cool, and that would be like one way of just breaking up the mundaneness of the everyday interactions of Destiny. Again, to looting in the game, and I know you guys have a problem with people just getting exotics really fast, then why don't you have a way of grinding greens? Seriously, if you told me I only needed 1,250 greens to go get an exotic, great. I play your content legitimately anyway right now. Because, you know, farming doesn't provide anything. All those fucking YouTube videos are full of fucking shit. They're like, oh, farming's going to go get you, like, I don't know, 20 legendary and grand. Like, get the fuck out of here. It's all fucking luck, and it's fucking bullshit at that, too. But if you had something like that, like where if I just kept on grinding my greens, because I get a ton of greens a day. I think I could go play a game of Destiny for, like, what, 2-3 hours, get about 80 greens? That's fair to me. That's fucking fair to me. As long as I'm grinding them, and I know that I have the hopes for an exotic, or maybe I might just stop at a legendary. Because, I mean, as of right now, and I don't know why you designed this, you can only have 2 pieces of exotic gear equipped, and that's 1 weapon and 1 piece of armor. So maybe I'll go get some purples out of this. But yeah, that'd be one great way of just diluting the loot, so it doesn't seem so bad. And, like, I don't want to go ranty again, but let me say this to the developers of Destiny, Bungie. Seriously, I know this isn't what you intended to do. I know this really isn't what you intended to do, but you make your players really feel fucking bad. Like, I was sitting and talking to somebody, and I was just like, we were talking about doing the night raid, and I'm like, yeah, man, I really want to go get an exotic weapon. He's like, me too, man. This game's been pissing me off so much. He's like, dude, I had to go spend my strange coins last week to go get an exotic sniper because this game just doesn't want to go reward me. And I'm like, yeah, I know, I feel the same way because it's luck and I just feel unlucky. I feel like I'm doing something wrong. I mean, if I'm gambling, I could stop, and I could stop playing Destiny, but I want to support the game. I like the design. I like what they're trying to do. I wish they would try more harder to go convey it to players, but I like it, but I don't like feeling shitty because I can't be lucky. I mean, what are the odds then? Like, Destiny had to go do some type of calculation or look at the numbers to say, what is the worst player's average on how much they're going to have to play our game to get an exotic? Because it just seems like a giant fuck you to people if you're just the worst, unluckiest person in the world. Well, then guess what? That's just you. We shouldn't go change our game to go fit your needs. I'm just saying that's just the feeling some people have at your game. But moving on from that, I don't want to keep making this thing ranty. God, there's so many fucking things that you could actually change about this game. I'm glad that you're going to put up new raids, put in matchmaking. Seriously, going on a tower, because I'm going to explain to you, and I've already explained in the bits before, but really, that's all I ever do, because I switched from my Xbox for my PlayStation. That was my choice. I don't have the same friend base I do on my Xbox, okay? And I'm not going to get an Xbox One. I have to go to random people and ask them if they'll do the blow to glass with me. That's all it is. I have to beg people to do the blow to glass. I have to beg people to play your content. Like, come on, do the blow to glass. Come on, I'm good. I have to build myself up. I'm like, I'm a level 27 warlock. I have purple weapons. I know what it is I'm doing. I've seen YouTube videos and all this. Because, like, people don't want to go take the risk. I mean, your dungeon is lengthy as hell. Like, people will not play that certain hours of the night because they're just like, no, there's no way in hell I'm going to go do that. So, yeah, man, put some type of matchmaking in. Or, this is what I was telling somebody else. Or you could go put a subsection to the Guardian Tower for the Vote of Glass. This is a little hangout for people to go meet other people who want to do the Vote of Glass. Maybe they need one more for their team. Maybe they need to put a team together. Putting that area there would make so much of a difference in Destiny, you wouldn't believe. Because now players know where to go to find people who want to do the Vote of Glass. Because all I ever do is I go on the internet. I go to BHL, I go to 7 Sins. Somebody else told me to try Reddit to see if you wanted to go do it. It's like the community itself is relying on other communities, sadly, to go do your content. And if that's the way you wanted your content to be perceived, you're doing a great job of it. Go bonkers. God, man, this is 20 minutes. I doubt anybody listens to this long. But I'm still going on anyway, so fuck it, because I want to get everything out about this game. Oh, my God. Okay, so another thing that you could go do that would just make the game more rewarding is if you're really afraid about an error when you're doing PvP. Sorry, I get those two tongue twisted. But anyway, PvP. Basically, why don't you go put in with all traditional or most traditional, or at least a lot of RPGs right now, MMOs exactly, have some type of weapon-based, like when you die in PvE and you're using exotic and you think it's kind of cheap, you take a percentage of damage to it. So this makes people try to survive a lot longer. This is going to make PvE a lot more stressful for people. So you can still have your little nerfs here and there, but if a player dies, they lose, let's go say, first death, 5% damage on your weapon. Next death, they lose 10% damage on the weapon, and so forth and so on. So this will either force players to do one or two things, because at 10%, I'm going to switch out another weapon. And you provide, well, you don't really provide, but most people provide themselves with enough weapons when they go in PvE. So they might have to use something they don't like, but this forces them to go do it, and this forces these cheap weapons, or these weapons that you might feel need to be nerfed or tweaked or this or that. You know, it relies another out, so you don't have to go that direction right away. You don't have to go, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, we gotta react. Get the big brush, get the fucking big brush and just paint that right across the screen. You don't have to do that. You could go put ways in the game which naturally force players to use other weapons, is what I'm saying. And that's just one idea. And I'm making these up as I go. Like, if I was to sit down and write this, which I thought I was going to do, but I made a YouTube video, so, there's a lot of things that you could go sit down and think about as doing, but I really think you should go invest in the idea. Really, because if I was a designer on this, this is what I'd be pitching every single day. It's the fact that in PvE, I want to go include a rule where if you die, your weapon or your armor, or maybe even all of the above, may take some percentage of damage. And this is more prevalent in the cases of exotics, because they're supposed to be not overpowered. They are cheap as hell, but I was at first under the impression that this was going to be the type of game it was going to be. Really cheap weapons against really cheap weapons and players psyching out each other, but I guess that's not the case. So the idea of saying that they could go break over time or take a percentage damage and you could go decrease their base stats and whatnot would be pretty fair. I mean, it's in a lot of other video games. If you die, like in Guild Wars and so forth and so on, if you die, your armor takes damage, and after a certain amount of damage, your armor just explodes and it's no good. I think you could do that with weapons as well. They just take damage and they lose base stats. That sounds fair. So, moving on from that, this is one I did bounce off my O-level design teacher. Well, basically my game design teacher. And I kind of agree with him. We're kind of going back and forth on this. Just with the exotic routes, it would be really interesting if you just did an exotic schematic. Now, hear me out. You're going to have this weapon base. It's just going to go be this easy weapon asset. The way the weapon's going to go look. Nothing cool attached to it. No cool paint jobs or camo, cool attachables or whatnot. But you have everybody on the art team make all these cool detachable parts to these weapons. And you can go scatter them across the land. You can go have them as certain drops. And these could go be from rare to at least purple. I don't see a reason to make an exotic attachment drop, but I mean, I guess you could. But if you make these just blue, like they're all blue, but once you go combine enough of them together, you got an exotic weapon. It got the gold trimming on it. It got some really, you could go pick and choose which really cool effects you had. But once you made the weapon, it was over. So once it was attached, it was attached. That would be really cool. And it would go bond players with their weapons, because now they're building their exotic. They're scavenging the land to make the gun they want to go blaze through your game with. And when I say players want to blaze through your game, is they want to go leave their mark. They want to go show the world they're the best at what it is they do. And this is no reason for you to have this knee-jerk reaction. And I don't want to make this ranty, but I really do want you to just go take that into consideration, that if they're blazing through your game, it's just because they finally made a weapon that suits their playing style, that suits them, and they want to go leave their mark on the world. That's what a player is going to go intently try to do in a game like this, at least in my experience and from my understanding. there's like a lot more I could go rant on about Destiny, and I don't want to rant anymore. I'm out. This is like it's almost 25 fucking minutes. This is probably the longest I've ever put myself on camera. I really hope if you did listen this far, I'd just hug you because, you know, thank you for listening this far. Just thanks. Really enjoy that. But, yeah, this is the longest I've ever made a video. I really hope that I made some good facts. I brought up some interesting aspects about the game that are truly flawed. And hopefully I gave some good examples of ways or directions they could go. I just want Destiny to stop being at odds with the community, having this knee-jerk reaction to go brushstroke over everything. Okay, take a step back and say, we gave the players this ability, and this is what they did with this ability. How can we go counter that? How can we counter that if it's being destructive to our overall vision? Without just saying, no, we're going to take it away from you. We're going to force you to play the game we want to play. Because that's just what it feels like. That's just what it seems that you're doing. And you can't go boast about having a game that is going to be open world and the player can go do whatever it is they want to go do. Especially with a lot of great open world games out there that give players freedom. I mean, fuck, dude. Far Cry Blood Dragon, definitely. I mean, the Grand Theft Auto series, or Sleeping Dogs is pretty open world-ish, but I didn't get too far in that game, but yeah. But I mean, like, there's a lot of games out there that try to go give you this. Oh, Skyrim, and definitely Fallout 4. Looking forward to that. But there are games out there that try to go give players this thing. And I mean, God help you, because I mean, really, if they ever do make Fallout online, yeah, I'm there, bro. It's over. The end of the fucking world and the fucking wasteland of badasses and scavengers. Fuck yeah, that's the RPG I'm looking for. That's the MMO I'm about. But yeah, I really hope that you just take, like, I don't think the developers will ever see this, but whatever. I would just hope the developers would take this as what I'm saying as, you know, at face value. There are some things that we could go react to in a better sense than the way we are right now. Anyway, it's long, and I don't want to rant anymore. I'm the AntiHeroDrink here at RPG Mayhem, dishing out the good news of RPG video games and gaming in general. Peace and later, gamers.